Welcome to my world. Everyone, I'm Suzanne Ridgway, and this is Let Us Eat. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to make a delicious smoothie from your canned fruit. Yes, I said canned. I have a lot of fruit cocktail that I would like to use some of it, and I don't always know what to do with it. So today we're going to make some delicious smoothies for my children for when they come home from school later. They have busy days, busy lives. School is winding down. We get out the 24th of June. I have one graduating, going to school college in the fall. We're also going to make applesauce today. I was gifted a bunch of nice apples, and we're going to decor them. Then we're going to blend them, and we're going to put them into the Dutch oven for a Dutch oven 3-ingredient applesauce. Real easy to do. Let's go into my kitchen and get started. We're going to make smoothies with some fruit cocktail. If you have a lot of fruit cocktail lying around and don't know what to do with it, why not make it into a delicious smoothie instead of letting it sit there collecting dust? I grabbed 2 of my cans that I have. We're going to pour the entire contents into the blender with some frozen fruit rather than ice cubes. Frozen fruit is awesome. It doesn't water down the smoothie. Then we're going to add about a tablespoon of milk. If you have yogurt, you can go ahead and add in the yogurt. Then maybe about a teaspoon to 2 teaspoons of sugar. This is not going to be a sweet smoothie. It's going to be perfect and delicious. I've recently cleaned up my pantry. We got it out of the kitchen and put it into the dining area. It's all zoned off. I have a freezer in there, and it's up against the freezer, the shelves. And it's more contained and stays better organized rather than in the kitchen hidden away where it becomes a big, huge mess like it threw up. Not anymore. I can just walk right into my kitchen, and it's so relaxing in here and not overwhelming. I'm just very proud of myself with everything that we've done. I'll give you a quick tour of the kitchen when we're done with the video. I have the can opener. Everything's going up in price, especially electricity and fuel and gasoline. Get one of these. You'll reduce your electricity if you open a lot of cans throughout the month. I also save money by powering down rooms I'm not in. The lights are off. I make sure all devices are unplugged from the wall that are not being used. And we use either an electric fan during the day or a ceiling fan until it gets too hot and we need the air conditioning. And drain the pineapple. Watch the jarred edges so you don't cut yourself. I have gotten many can cuts over the years. They hurt, if not worse, than a paper cut. The cocktails go with the peaches because they have peaches within them. Remove the lid if it falls in and give them a quick rinse. It's a great way to utilize your canned fruits. Used a blender before. These are the settings. We're going to use grind first and then go to milkshake or fruit smoothies. We're going to make sure all the frozen fruit is blended well. Too many juices within the blender. I'm just adding the pineapple. Some always spills out no matter what I do. You want to make sure that your blender is stable on the stand here. Now we're going to pop the can from the top, or if you have a can opener style one, go ahead and do so. Before we add in the frozen fruit, we're going to blend it thoroughly first. Then add in the frozen with the milk and the sugar. That's going to make a lot of smoothie, and we won't need that much frozen fruit just about 6 or 7 pieces, quarter of a cup, to make it chilled. I'm going to make sure the blender is stabilized on its stand, and we're going to blend by using the fruit smoothie. Go ahead and add the milk. About a tablespoon, so there's enough liquid in your blender. Husband, something we're getting low on milk, and we'll need it for the weekend. I'm removing the blending sounds to save y'all's ears here. So now it's just me talking, and we're gonna blend it in until it's completely blended all the way through, and the frozen is crushed, mixed within the canned fruit, making a delicious smoothie for your children. My kids love smoothies and they love milkshakes. They like yogurt as well. We just don't buy a lot of yogurt anymore because they have been steering away from it. Maybe because it's summertime and a lot of dairy could be bad. And the smoothies are great because you can just add a little bit of milk into the smoothies and it won't be overpowering or upset your stomach, and you have a lot of fresh fruit. Lid momentarily. I always place it upside down. Add the sugar. And now we're going to add some of the frozen fruit. Act as an ice cube so it won't be watered down. And you're going to grind it on the grinding feature. You can pick up a big bag of frozen fruit pretty inexpensively at Walmart these days. A lot of trouble. We're going to grind the frozen fruit, get it blended well with the liquefied fruit already in there. And then the smoothie is going to be done. And we used our canned goods with the frozen fruit to get them off the pantry shelves and give them some life and some use. A great way to use pantry items to make delicious smoothies. Fresh fruit is so expensive, and it's a great way to go to save money. Perfect. I'm going to pour it into a pitcher. And my husband's going to take a look at the blender to see if he can repair it, if there is any repairs needed. But it did what it needed to do. For my Dollar Tree pitcher. And you're going to pour it. Some of it leaked out at the bottom. Not very much. Pour it on in. A nice delicious smoothie for after school with pantry friendly items. And it's not watered down with ice cubes because we used the frozen fruit. Beautiful apples that we were gifted from our food pantry recently. And we're going to rinse them and make them into applesauce. The blender did leak a little bit, but my husband took care of it and fixed the washer to make sure it was level. And it shouldn't leak because we're going to be doing this applesauce partly on the stovetop and partly in the blender. This core from the Dollar Tree works very well. I'm going to go ahead and decore all these apples. And then I save the apple cores for the deer. You get a lot of deer in the back. Just a little bit of elbow grease and they pop open. We're going to be doing Dutch oven applesauce. Great way to use your Dutch oven. I'm going to core a couple apples for you. And I'm going to get them all cored, removed, and meet you back. I have the apples in the Dutch oven, but first we're going to blend them. And then we're going to put them into the Dutch oven once again onto the stovetop. And we're going to add sugar and vanilla. I usually add in about a quarter of a cup of sugar and a tablespoon of vanilla. Add in some bottled water here. Not very much. We're going to grind the apples. Make sure you use the grind feature and add enough liquid into it so it starts up properly. and it's going to blend nicely. You want to leave it a little bit chunky. You don't want it turned into juice. This is blending very well, including all the apple peels to get all that extra added nutrition for your family. Continue to blend a little more and adding in apples as I go along to get them all done. And then we're going to dump them into the Dutch oven to get them simmering. Once they're all in the Dutch oven, we'll add in a 1/4 cup of sugar and a tablespoon of vanilla. That is all you need to make applesauce. Apples, vanilla, and sugar, and cinnamon if you wish. Please spray your Dutch oven so it doesn't burn at the bottom. Turn it on to medium heat. We're going to take the first mixture of apples that we did in the blender and put them into the Dutch oven. My husband did a really good job fixing the blender because nothing leaked out. Just dump it on in. And you want all the apple peels in there for nutrition, but go ahead and peel them if you don't want them. Now I'm going to blend the rest of the apples and come back to the Dutch oven. Then we'll add in the 1/4 cup of sugar and tablespoon of vanilla while it simmers. It's going to smell incredible in your house. It's a great starter for apple pie if you don't want them sliced. Grab myself a spoon or swatted spatula or a swatted spoon, whatever I had close by. And make sure you stay on top of the apples. You can reduce your heat to 2.5 because you don't want them to burn. And a 1/4 cup of sugar. And we're going to add a tablespoon of vanilla. I used to melt them down first, but this just saves a lot of time, and you can let them simmer on low in your Dutch oven, and your house is going to smell incredible. Like Grandma's been here. All the peels are within the sauce, blended in well with all that nutrition, and of course went out for the deer. Head about a tablespoon. Delicious homemade applesauce. Just a few ingredients and a little bit of time. Look how beautiful that is. My other applesauce never turned out so divine. The blender is amazing. And I'm glad we were able to fix it and it didn't leak, thankfully, with the applesauce. It didn't make that much of a mess with the smoothie, only a little bit leaked out. And I got it all cleaned up, and we have 2 to 3 cups of smoothies from those 2 cans. Just stir occasionally. It'll thicken up nicely. And it smells so good in here. If you want to add cinnamon, please feel free. This is just going to be straight applesauce. I'm going to turn this down even further to low. And then we're going to cover the Dutch oven and let it simmer for a few hours on low. And when the kids come home, they're going to have homemade applesauce. And I may pick up some pie crust or try to make it myself for our homemade apple pie for dessert. Get to 1,500, we're going to issue out 2 $10 or Dollar Tree gift cards. When we get 16 more people, we're going to issue out 1 5-items price pack from the Dollar Tree. The rules are, if you're new, make sure you comment, introduce yourself, say hello, become a part of our community. We love to chat here. I am a chatty Kathy. I also have an email that you can feel free to email with any questions, and I'll give you that in a moment. You need to be subscribed. You need to be a U.S. resident. If you won in the past 60 days, you're not qualified. If you don't answer me within 2 business days, you will be disqualified unless it's an extreme circumstance. For instance, you had a death in the family, your phone broke, you had a power outage. Just give me an email, and that email is countryboots1268@yahoo.com. We can talk and still get your prize out to you. Just make sure you contact me. We're very friendly here. I'm a family of 4, a wife, and a mom of 2. I'm also a photographer, and I'm a content creator for YouTube. The entrance to my kitchen, the breezeway, used to be stocked with shelves You have this little shelf here now for the toaster and some needed items. Nothing's in front of the garbage can anymore. Behind it, my camera stand. Use command hooks because they're odd, dumb walls and you can't really do a nail. You have to have a drill. And I just hung the paper towel holder there with the command hook. It is so much easier to work in here now. All the cabinets are organized. Those dishes will be put away and cleaned up. These have been in many different places in my home. So far, they work best underneath the cabinet for extra shelves and to stow away things. Just keep them contained because they can get cluttered pretty quickly. My main cabinet for cooking. I use Dollar Tree bins. And then over here, my utensil drawer. I made this thing out of cereal boxes a few months back, and it's staying contained. It's so much nicer in here without all the clutter. This is simmering. We're going to give it a quick stir. I hope you enjoyed the quick little tour of my kitchen. And we're going to put some applesauce in a bowl for you so you can see what it looks like. Ooh. And it smells incredible. Turn it down even further. And give it a quick stir. I'm going to put some in a bowl. Remove your Dutch oven from the heat. Slide it on over the other burner. And it's going to cool way down before you jar it. Here's what the applesauce looks like. Look at that. That is perfect. I'm so proud of myself. I made the best applesauce I ever made with that blender.